Oh, it's good to see you, sup, bro. I'm doing okay. The takoyaki seller isn't here today. Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. The poo moved? I have no idea what people are talking about. You lying bitch. Well, yeah, if they're gonna lie about it, I mean, you know, they're going to lie about being honest. That's what I'm going for. Just like yesterday, we took a walk in the through the park in the evening. However, the food stand was nowhere to be found. Just so happened that no one was home the day that I decided to take the two cat girls home. So you took them home, nobody was there, and so you just left. Also happened to leave the house key behind. On accident, totally. So to make good use of time, I wanted to do some shopping before Shigure got home. Oh, sorry, Vanilla. What was it called? Catnip? That sounds about right. That isn't the right word at all. Chocola, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit? Okay, maybe a little bit. No, Chocola's fine. Sorry to worry you, Master. There's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit? In that case, I will go buy something to drink. Thanks. Something for everyone, okay? Understood. Leave it to me. I want to fly. Kashou raised him to think everyone resting involves being bent over a park bench. It's strange how that works, huh? I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocola. Flop. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. All that could be heard through the empty park were the quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocola. Like the gently settling sun, time passed by slowly. Chocola will go home. Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I had heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocola's head. Is it alright if Chocola calls you sometimes, Master? Yeah. Would it be alright to visit you as well? Yeah. Will you be sure to think about us every day? Yes, for about 10 to 15 minutes in the shower. You know how it goes. Is it alright for Chocola to still call you Master, even if Chocola is far away from you? Okay. Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. Dude, tears make the best lube. Go for it. She stifled her sobbing as her voice became strained. She looked pained and she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course I will. Evo is coming up after RE60. Oh no, Street Fighter 4, it hurts me so bad. It's okay. Of course I will. Whining and gnashing of teeth. Chocola is sorry. More whining. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could. You really are kind, aren't you, Master? I don't really think I'm kind at all. You said the same thing before, didn't you, Master? Before? Chocola closed her eyes and smiled. Do you remember when Chocola and Vanilla helped treat your cannoli? I don't know if they make cannolis. Probably not. When we were taken home by Master and Shigure-chan. Of course, I remember that. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocola and Vanilla were huddled together crying by the side of the road. Got so fucked up. They were still so young they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day I embraced their small, cold bodies. Jesus Christ, you sick son of a bitch. And took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home. We were scared back then because we were in an unfamiliar house with people and catgirls we didn't know. You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shigure. Yes, we really did make her worry. I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past. Do you remember when Chocola and Vanilla had fever too? I definitely do remember that. Oh my god, the whiteout. It was a few days after we brought Chocola and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combinations of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain. No one realized it that night, but we felt so much pain, anguish, and loneliness we couldn't speak or move our arms and legs at all. All we could do was cry and kept hoping for anyone to come and save us. And then... It's alright, I'm with you two, so don't worry. With your big, warm hands, you gently rubbed our heads, Master. You kept saying, don't worry, and you stayed by our side. Continued to stroke and comfort both Chocola and Vanilla. And when morning came, you took us to the hospital. You were always by our side. We felt so anxious and helpless, it felt like it was all just lies to us. Back then you said the same thing, that you didn't think you were being kind. But if Master hadn't saved us, Chocola and Vanilla wouldn't be here now. Back then, if Master wasn't by our side, we still wouldn't be able to trust anyone. Thanks to Master, we were able to eat again. We were able to become friends with Shigure-chan and everyone else. That's why from that day forward, Master became Chocola's master. It was that day forward that Chocola began loving her kind master, you know? I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. Okay. She smiled all she could before me. That's why when Chocola hears that Master won't be around anymore, Chocola couldn't do anything else but go with Master. So Chocola begged Shigure-chan. She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm, but there was also an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocola. I was the one, she was saying all this too. There's like nobody else around, of course she's talking to you. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name. Chocola guesses catgirls really don't understand when it comes to money and other complex things. Still, no matter what, Chocola wants to be by Master's side. When Master is having a tough time or is in trouble, somehow Chocola just knows. Just somehow does. She can read my mind. Whether it's cleaning, doing the laundry, or cooking, Chocola will do anything to help. Even if Chocola doesn't do it properly now, Chocola will absolutely make sure that she'll be able to do the right things someday. That's why, would it be okay to ask one more favor? Chocola wants to be with Master. Chocola voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocola, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my inner thoughts which were ready to overflow. She yearned for me so earnestly. For her to so innocently believe in me, there should be no reason for me to be against it. Except, you know, practicality, logic, numbers, but whatever. That day, Chocola and Vanilla became an important part of my family. Whoa, they weren't before? What the hell were they? Like, I rescued them, we you know, we kind of lived together, they're my slave children, and I guess they're, you know, okay, but now that she whined at me, that's when they become part of the family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for just leaving home like that. I didn't want to give my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness, or have them experience any unnecessary hardship because of me. You two are important to me, after all. We're cat girls, so we're honest with ourselves. Nobody else, just ourselves. My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point, I wasn't paying attention, and she looked straight at me as she sat at Chocola's side. For me, as long as it's fun, I'm fine with being with Chocola. Well, fuck you, maybe we need some hard work, yeah? Even if there are hardships, I think I'm fine with being with Chocola. After all, it's much more lonely and painful when we can't be together. Vanilla. If we really love you, then it's troublesome. If we really love you, then even if it's troublesome, we want to be with you. There's a reason to want to be with you. That is a reason to want to be with you. Stuff like whether we'd be happy or not. Even though you're our master, don't you think it's wrong for you to decide that? These people. Besides, when an important person to us is in trouble, that's the more reason for us to want to be by their side. We don't know what we can do, but in tough times, we can at least be by your side and cheer you up. That's what we can do. It was as if her gentle, warm, and soft smile had become the setting sun. Jesus, the pain. The uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and seeped into my heart. That's probably why Shigure let us follow you. Since Shigure can't go with you, she asked us to go in her stead, Master. That's why if Master really cares about us, then I believe we should be with you. There was not even the faintest bit of hesitation. They were such honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate Chocola and Vanilla's happiness? These people. Chocola's long since pissed herself. Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty because I'm just dumb as shit. Even if we lived a worry-free life, we would hate it if Master wasn't around. No matter how difficult, Chocola wants to be together with Master. That's why Chocola begs you to allow us to be by your side, Master. That's where Chocola wants to be. She was on the verge of tears, but Chocola's face lit up. There was nothing but absolutely pure, genuine words. Yeah, they are words, that's true. Goddamn it, shrill moon speak. Humans really are at a loss for words when it comes to catgirls, huh? Saying no to their words and their blowjobs. Wait, what? Sorry. It was not something I could bring myself to do. Master, does that mean it won't be like it was back home? We can't just live here however you like, got it? Yes, that won't be a problem. Chocola is happy as long as Master is here with her. Very well, Master has finally surrendered. Sometimes people say that they hate what they actually love, right? And you hate the shit out of us. What? Jesus Christ. Chocola's face lit up and then she burst into flame from the magnesium suppository. I cackled maniacally as she burned from the inside out, looked Vanilla dead in the eye as I mouthed, "Go home." The dreary moment seemed to be blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one that didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all this from their perspective, it was very simple because they're very simple. Although I thought it was all still so immature. Perhaps catgirls were more human than humans were when it came to honesty. Humans set the bar on what is human-like. Whatever, okay. From here on out, we need to do our best all together. Of course, Chocola's alright. Even if we don't have fatty tuna for dinner every night, just occasionally is good enough. For meat, A4 grade is fine as long as it's Matsuzaka beef. Fatty meat is the best. Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Even if the road ahead of us is uncertain, I love rubbing their heads, disheveling their hair.